All right, so today I'm joined by the president of Karate Combat, Asim Zaidi, also known as President Awesome. Welcome, man. How are you?
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to be here for sure.
So, I mean, we can just get right into it. There's some beef going on with Mike Perry's promotion right now and his management and stuff like that.
Yeah. So just to give the rundown, I want to start off by saying Mike Perry and I have a very close relationship. He was living in Miami for some time, so we bonded together, and I really support him to a crazy degree because I just find him to be a great role model in many ways to athletes. Somebody that started from nothing and really made it big, and not only made it big, but I admire his family life. He's a loving husband. He has children now. Now he's an entrepreneur as well. So there's a lot about Mike that I love. So there's nothing wrong between him and I. It's the people that are behind dirty boxing. He's the face, but he's not necessarily making the decisions that that were not moral or unethical.
As far as
Um,
poaching a fighter goes, is that fair
yeah,
to say?
exactly. So that's very fair to say, right? So basically what happened was we have an exclusively signed fighter. Um, and what stinks is this is a guy I was very hesitant to sign. And the fighter's coach really vouched for him. He's like, look, man, this guy's turning a new leaf. He's more mature. I really want him to work with you. And it's hard because although the guy was a phenomenal kickboxer, he's, I believe, like 4-5 as an MMA fighter, or 5-5, so something like that. And has a big losing streak right now, being finished in every fight. And he's 35 years old. So I'm like, dude, like, what am I gonna do? And he's like, look, MMA wasn't for him. Karate combat's for him. He's a phenomenal striker, and he is. He's a really phenomenal striker. So I said, you know what? At 35 years old, he looks in shape still. I'm like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So we signed him to a contract, and because I have a very good relationship with his coach, it was a very good contract. Starting off at 5K, 5K. So he's set to make at the very least like 50 grand to 60 grand in 1 year, depending on his performance, right?
I saw it. And how
So
long ago was that?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Okay. Because they're saying
Yep.
he was sitting on the shelf.
Exactly. Of
Okay.
course. They're saying he's shelved. It was 3 weeks ago. I posted on my Twitter the signed contract and date, just so there's no argument there. Right. So, anyways, we signed him 3 weeks ago. Again, I was really twisted my arm to sign this guy, but I did it. And I said, you know what? He's phenomenal striker. Put him against the top 5 guy in our division, and let's get this division moving, and let's see where he's at to see his real potential. So we have an important fight we're booking in February for him, and starting to set up, contracts and or promotion for it and all that stuff. February's in Denver, I believe. So it's an important card for us. Anyways, so a week before Dirty Boxing, we find out he's fighting for Dirty Boxing. And right away we tell the management, Ruby Management, I believe is the name. We
Yeah,
tell the
Danny
management, like,
Rubenstein or something.
yes, he's the head of this. He didn't know any of this was going on. So it's an
How did you
agent.
find out that it was even happening?
So the agent asked us if this can happen.
Okay.
And we said, hey man, like, you guys begged us for an exclusive contract. We gave you an amazing contract. He's set to fight in February.
And now
We
we're
have
getting this kind of deal.
exactly, like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. We can't do this because this is actually someone that we're investing good money into, and we want to push, and we want to see what he can do. So the guy was very upset, and to be honest, that agent said some very disrespectful things that Daniel, the head of the management, apologized for, but some rude things to my matchmaker. But we just said, look, man, it just can't happen. We're taking care of this guy's about to make 10K in his debut fight. You're talking about good money here. You know what I mean? This isn't chump change. And he's getting paid $1,000, according to Mike Perry and the owner of Dirty Boxing, who I spoke to. He's getting paid $1,000 for them. So it's like, guys, you're potentially ruining a relationship where he's going to make between 50 to 60 grand in a year for $1,000. Like, let's just not do this. Now, as the fight's getting closer, they kept it very quiet because they wanted to pretend that they weren't going to do it. And then I see the weigh-in video the day before, and I'm
So
like,
you were
there's
under the
no way.
impression that like it was not going to happen and you saw the
Yeah,
weigh-in video. Okay.
yeah. I
Okay.
was under the impression like, oh, we're good. It makes logical sense to anyone on the planet Like this, of course, it makes sense. Daniel Rubenstein, said that he would speak to the agent, that this wasn't professional, that he'll make sure that he takes care of it. So, anyways, I see the weigh-in video. I'm absolutely shocked, right? So right away, I reach out to the management. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on here?" And Daniel was in China for the UFC, so he was saying, "Oh, I have no idea what's going on down there." That was his excuse. Uh, so right away, I called the promotion. I messaged the owner of Dirty Boxing, which is Malki. It's not Malki Kawa, it's Primo Kawa. It's like Malki's cousin. The head of first round management, the cousin, okay, is the owner of Dirty Boxing. So I hit him up and I said, "Hey man, really nicely. I haven't posted the screenshot because I don't know if that's disrespectful if he doesn't want that. But just to tell you what the screenshot is, because I'm thinking about posting it, is I was like, hey man, I know this is very awkward. We have a exclusively signed fighter that's fighting in your promotion. I'd love to find a solution for you guys because I can't let this fight happen. And I'd love to grab coffee with you because I know you're living in Miami." And he said, "No problem." The owner said, "No problem, man. Like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this right away. We'll see what's going on, and we'll figure this out." So the next day, he calls me up with Perry on the phone, and they're saying that the athlete claimed that I gave permission for it. So essentially, they're saying the athlete lied, which is possible. Which is possible. Like, I'm not gonna say I don't know. I
I
really
mean,
don't
yeah.
know what that. Yeah, yeah. Like, honestly, it's such a unimportant fight to them. Like it was definitely the highest level striker they had, besides Joel. But it was such an important, I shouldn't say unimportant event. It was not even televised. So for them, they probably couldn't really care to lie to any degree. So I do believe them that maybe the fighter was not telling the truth, but they know that the guy had an exclusive contract with us and they didn't check with us. They knew this the whole time. And then I'm telling him like, "Hey man, I can't let the fight happening, but I don't want to let you hang out to dry. So I will offer replacements. I have multiple replacements here that I can send to you and you guys can use. And that's hopefully our future star. So if you could just, allow him to continue his trajectory to fight for us in February." They
Were those
were
guys that
very
you're gonna
polite.
offer from like Karate Combat or from your gym or something like that?
Either one.
Okay.
Like either, an older roster fighter that maybe hasn't fought was an option. And then I already had two fighters in my gym that accepted. And they said, "Hey, we'll step up." So I had many options, and Karate Combat has a roster of like 280 fighters. So I could just run through a list and see what makes sense for somebody that's not scheduled for a while, that's maybe, not active, that we could help out. I'd be down for that. Because I'm not trying to make enemies. And I love Perry. Like I told you, we have a good relationship. So, anyways, they were very understanding and they were very polite. They were very sad and really tried their best to make the fight continue. And they said, "Look, we'll get back to you." 2 hours
So
before the event.
they didn't really want you to do a replacement.
No,
They
no, no, no.
wanted the original fight still.
They wanted the original fight still. And
Okay.
the reason is, so this guy Anvar, which is our fighter, he has, I think he's like 130 wins, 15 losses in kickboxing. Like he has a phenomenal record in kickboxing. It's just that he's older now and he tried MMA and it didn't work. So he kind of lost his following a little bit. But he's great. He's a great striker. So they don't want to lose that fight also because that is the second highest level fighter on that card besides Joel,
For
without a doubt.
entertainment. And he went viral, right? So fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
Fair
yeah,
enough to him,
yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. And it was the
Yeah.
highest level fight because the opponent was good too, and he knocked out the opponent. So it was phenomenal. And he pulled off what we thought he could do in a striking match. He was great.
Yeah,
He
you probably
really
wish he was
was.
under your lights, but yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly.